Hey, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go ahead and share a few things about fighting against Iron Man and Infinity War. He definitely seems to be one of the tougher defenders in the game. I've learned a few things that have helped me out, but he still is a pretty big pain in the butt. So a couple things here just to cover about who he is and what you can expect with him. His health point pool is average, maybe slightly above average. Not the greatest you're going to see, but definitely not the worst. So you can definitely take a beating. His attack, again, it's about average, not fantastic, not terrible. What does make him pretty good, though, is his critical rating is really high. And going to get quite a few crits, but they're not going to hit the hardest either. The crit damage rating is not bad. Not great, probably a little bit above average. You're going to see a couple of good things out of him just from the crit rating and the crit damage standpoint, but otherwise not a whole lot from the actual attacking end. Now, where he shines though defensively is he's got pretty good armor rating and he's got pretty good block efficiency. So he's going to be able to mitigate a lot of damage coming in just from that. His champion abilities, this is where it really is difficult to fight against. When he's awakened, especially at a high sig level, he's going to get a lot of armor when he's down to 15% health, and he's also going to gain a little bit of power over time as long as he's got at least one armor stack. Now, additionally with that armor, whenever he does have one active, it's going to boost that armor rating up by quite a bit, so it makes it even more difficult to put damage into him while he's got those active. He always starts the fight with at least one there, and again, the 6-star rank 2 awaken, 24% chance to gain armor there as well. So not a bad chance. About 1 in every 4 hits or so, it's going to gain him in armor. Now, when he does have armor up on him as well, it is going to be more difficult to drain power, steal power, or power burn. You can see it's going to reduce that effectiveness as well. He does have some synergies that might make it even more difficult. He can auto block when he has at least 4 stacks of armor, so just keep that in mind whenever you're fighting against him. Armor breaks are going to remove those. They cannot be nullified or consumed, as they're passive abilities and not active buffs. Right, and he also does gain that bleed and cold snap immunity while he has it active. The repulsor attacks, at least from a defensive standpoint, he can't be parried and he cannot be auto evaded with his first medium in the first part of the head. Right, and that's also going to be the second and fourth light attacks because it's going to be using those repulsors rather than physical punches or kicks or anything, so you can't parry those. Again, depending on your playstyle, that can be a little bit more difficult. And don't expect your auto evades from your Stark Spideys or your OG Awakened Spider-Man, for example, to kick in when he uses those. There's a few more things that he does offensively, but we're not really here to cover them from an offensive standpoint in this video. Heavy attacks, he does a few things with that. They're really long. They take up quite a bit of time to complete, and they also cover a lot of ground, so just keep an eye out for that and watch out for those during your fight. They're going to boost his attack rating, break your armor if he lands it as well, and it can inflict heal block if you have an active regen up at that time. Special attacks. Now, his first special attack, it's going to be unblockable with the blade arm, and then he shoots a couple of projectiles after that. It's pretty easy to avoid there. Just be mindful of when he's going to throw that. Keep an eye on that power bar because it does move pretty fast from an animation standpoint. On an ease of evade, I'd still say this one's pretty easy to avoid. The full thing does take a little bit of practice at first when you're trying to get used to the timing of the blasts and all. I'd probably say that this one's 8 out of 10 as far as ease of evading. Definitely not the easiest, but not near the hardest to evade either. If you do get hit with it, you'll get shocked for a period of time, dealing quite a bit of damage. So just keep that in mind as well. And it's also going to reduce your power gain when you get hit with those repulsors if you're active. The special attack 2, this one's not unblockable, but if he does land it, there's going to be armor break, there's going to be incinerate as well, and that's going to hurt you quite a bit, and then you can also turn that into a plasma effect if he hits you with a shock. So again, it's a little bit more useful offensively, but we're not here to cover that today. Special attack 3, again another armor break there. This is where it directly adds the plasma passive, and it can just cause more damage to you. Obviously, you always want to try to avoid special 3s. So there we go, there's some of his basic abilities and kind of how he works. So let's go ahead and cover a few things about how to fight him. Now, there are going to be a few champs that are really better at fighting Iron Man Infinity War than others. So I would recommend, if you have him, you want to try to take your Venom into a fight against him. Medusa is going to be a really good counter as well. There are going to be several other options. Anybody that can inflict armor break pretty easily, that can activate True Strike pretty easily, it's going to be very helpful, especially towards the end of the fight. Killmonger is a good option, but only if you have the synergy with Winter Soldier up, because you can get the True Strike on dashing in, as compared to waiting to complete the specials. It's really difficult to get that active on Killmonger with the specials there. So again, because you can't parry on the repulsor attacks, look out for that. If you keep him close, he's going to punch rather than use the repulsors, so that's going to be beneficial, where you can actually use that parry style. If you do get hit with the beam and you can't parry, then one thing you want to try to do is bait out the heavies, because the heavies is going to be one of the best ways to counter him. Right, so when he goes for the heavy, watch out, it's long, create a little bit of space, and throw your heavy to counter it as well. You got to be careful of the timing, especially for champions that have multiple hits on that heavy attack. Like a lot of the female champions will do multiple hits on theirs using like the leg kicks, so just be mindful of that, because if you don't create enough space, or if you mistime your heavy on countering him, then he's going to land now, just because that duration is so long, it lasts for a long time, and it covers so much ground. So it can be pretty difficult if you're not careful with spacing and timing. So just, again, know who your champ is and get used to his heavy and your champion's heavy, and then that's going to really help you out with that counter. That's a really effective way to fight him, especially in nodes where either he's not buffed up very much, or buffed up just a little bit. Alliance War bosses, when you see him there, it's going to be a little bit more tricky. You can't just sit back and let him do his heavy encounter, just because you don't have a lot of time there. But it's not a bad way, especially when you can kind of wear him down near the end of the fight, so you avoid the auto block. Oh, and I just missed that heavy. So again, that's just an example of, you need to know your spacing and his spacing to really get a good feel for what that's going to be like to counter his heavy. That's usually the best way to fight him, just because, again, you're going to avoid that auto block basically the whole time, regardless of the number of stacks that he has. You do just want to keep an eye out for the possibility, though, that if the summoner that you're fighting against in Alliance War or in the arena, for example, if they have the mastery that allows blocking the heavy attacks, that you might get hit with that, so just keep an eye out for it. Again, with a champion like Medusa, who can really wear down that armor, you're not going to worry too much about the auto block, just because you can break so much of that armor and get those stacks off of him. But again, keep an eye out for that. He's got those stacks, if he's got 4 or more, he's going to auto block, just like that. And will Medusa save me? No. So, and then again, while he's got that active and he's below that 15% health threshold, he is going to gain power. So that makes it just a little bit more tricky as well during the end of the fight. So there we go. Good effort, Medusa. Just couldn't quite pull it off. So yeah, just a few things that are going to make your fights against him a little bit easier is use a champ that can do a lot of armor break, or a champ that has true strike to avoid that auto block near the end of the fight. Look for baiting out that heavy attack and create a little bit of space so you can throw your own heavy attack to counter him. It's going to prevent you from going into that auto block as well. And it's a good way just to wear him down, inflict a little bit more damage while he has some armor up active. So taking out that armor, especially with the armor break champion, it's going to really allow you to land quite a bit more hits and quite a bit more damage. Even though his health points are pretty average, again, he's going to be able to take a lot of damage just because of that, take a lot of hits just because of those armor ups are going to take away so much of the damage that he doesn't want to see. So yeah, just a couple things that makes it a little bit easier to fight against him, and I hope this video helps you guys out in your own fights there. Take a couple things away, make your own fights a little bit easier, and win a few more against him. Good luck in anytime you encounter Iron Man Infinity War, whether it's in questing, Alliance War, Arena, whatever. And good luck in your own MCOC. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.